in case you wonder where I am, I'm hiding in the bushes. This is not a bush. In fact, it is one tree, one plant. And it's only a hedging shrub. There's a history behind this tree. When we built the toilets for our nursery, this privet was growing in the exact spot where the toilets were. And it is probably the reason why this tree has grown so rapidly and so fast, because all the fertilizer from the toilet probably helped to thicken the trunk. But jokes aside, when we made the toilet, we had to dig up the site with a digger. And when we dug the tree up, it was so massive that it was going to be dumped on the bonfire. But because I'm always a great one for saving plants and not wasting anything, I saved this plant and I kept it in this large plastic pot. And over the years, I would say for the last 10 or 15 years, I've been growing it on and on and on. And every year, like the hornbeam that I had shown on a previous YouTube video, all these shoots, which are over 1 meter long, I think some of them are 1.5 meter long, all these are this year's growth. So it's another variety or species that is extremely vigorous. Those of you who have privet hedges know that if you don't prune your privet hedge once, if not twice a year, they will get completely out of control. So they will grow 1 to 2 meters in just 1 year. So this is the growth I've got. Now I'm going to prune it back and then we will see what lies underneath. I will just give it a very rough prune so that it's easier to handle. In fact, I should bring the hedge trimmer because this is no skilled work. Now you must be wondering why I let these things grow unchecked. Is it because I'm lazy to do anything? Or is it because I don't know what to do with it? No, there's a very good reason why I do it. While the tree is making all this growth, all the energies are being fed back into the trunk, and it helps the trunk to thicken and get more interesting. So there is always method in my madness. So what I have done here is going to stand this tree in good stead because it will have created a lot of character in the trunk. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, or get down to the core of the tree, literally the core, which is the trunk. And when I've got all these long shoots off, we will have a look and see what lies in that flower pot. Okay, we will now proceed to get it out of the flower pot. So if we now take it out of the pot, you will see what is in there. It's one massive flower pot, and I hope it will come out. It's not going through the base, is it?
Yes.
A bit?
Yeah.
Well, we've got it out of that massive flower pot, and you can see straight away that this is one very, very interesting tree. Look at that trunk. It is every bit 18 inches, at least 40 centimeter, if not more, in diameter at the base, and all these shoots that keep coming up from the base help to strengthen the base and give it more character. So these really don't need to be there. This also doesn't need to be there. So why hide this beautiful base when there's so much potential there? I hope you are noticing these lovely turntables that we make from office chairs. I know I can buy these very expensive turntables, but this serves the purpose. If you don't control these trees, the natural habit is for the shoots to grow up vertically. And in bonsai, we don't want that sort of image. So we have to keep very tight control to make sure that we have the branches growing horizontally or growing downwards. So you can see some of the trunk now, and it clearly has a great deal of potential underneath. Straight away you can see I did a bit of wiring last year with this very thin wire, but it has made it horizontal. I may develop that more. I think these wires were put on when these branches were very, very thin, hence the thin wire that was used. But they don't serve any purpose now. Like all interesting trees or plants, there is so much choice as to which to use as the front and which to use as the back. So straight away I can see that every side has the potential to be the viewing side or the front side. So I will have a real problem. It's a nice problem to have, because if you didn't have much choice, then there's not much potential in that tree. But if you have a lot of choice, as they say, you're spoiled for choice. But you still have to decide which is the nicest face for making the front. Where there are too many branches, I can clearly take them off because I don't need them. Again, like the hornbeams, they are so vigorous that you don't have to worry about this thing producing new branches next year. They will produce branches so easily. It's almost like a giant baobab tree. Those of you who live in the tropics, Africa and India, the baobabs have these massive trunks. I remember seeing the tree, I've seen it several times, about 3-4 times, in Secunderabad in India, which is near Hyderabad. There's a baobab tree which is about 800 to 900 years old, and the trunk is about, I would say, more than 80 or 100 feet in diameter, and I can take about 30 people inside the tree. It's completely hollow. And this tree reminds me of that. Some branches have died. If we take a close look at the base, this looks very interesting from this side. But I haven't looked at the other side yet. Because whichever side you look, this one here, this is also interesting. So we're literally spoiled for choice. Privet is a very hard wood. In case you think it's soft, it is not soft. Extremely hard. And this is a natural hollow. I didn't carve it. It just rotted after I first dug it up from near the toilet. I left it in the growing fields for a while, and then while it was left and neglected, I think some of it turned hollow, and I let it get hollow naturally. So this is not carved. There are many kinds of privets. I've seen the Chinese privet, and then in Africa they have a privet. South Africa they have a privet. This is the one that grows commonly in Europe, in England, and they all make beautiful bonsai. In fact, people don't think much of using privet because it's a common hedging shrub, but it's amazing the effects you can get. The privet trunks, if trained properly, have the look of trident maple trunks with a lot of character, enormous, powerful looking base, and they lend themselves to that powerful look. So let's see what we can get out of this one. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, so here's my chance. This is an example of where, if you have interesting material, you don't need to do much to the tree to make it look an interesting bonsai. What have I done? I've only pruned the long shoots off, nothing more. I haven't done a single bit of wiring. This bit of old wiring that was put on years and years ago, but some of these branches have even died. It didn't come to anything. So I don't know what to call this tree. Probably I should call it the tree from the toilet. The Lingfield oak. Yes, we'll show you a picture of the Lingfield oak. In our village, there is an 800 or 900-year-old oak tree that has a completely hollow trunk, and it resembles that tree very much. I think we've shown it on one of our other videos, isn't it? Trees that inspire bonsai. Dig that up. So here we are. I have not put on a single piece of wire. I've just removed some old wires. And just by pruning, if you can imagine that in a bonsai pot, look at the character of that tree. Just a simple triangular shape, keeping the branches where they fit in. So this would make a nice front. And if we turn the tree around, whoever buys this tree will have the option to choose other possible fronts. That is also interesting. And even this side is interesting. Look at that powerful effect of this side. And this wood is rotting naturally, but it'll stop at a certain point and not rot anymore. So this also makes a nice front, but I have so far concentrated on keeping this the front. And look at all the prunings there. And this is another simple example of bringing a tree back to shape from a jungle. And there you have a very nice looking bonsai. Simple.